Manipulative people have a reputation for being, well, manipulative, arrogant, and sociopathic. However, this does not mean that all manipulation is harmful. Isn't gentle persuasion, in some ways, a type of manipulation? We'd argue there's a spectrum of manipulation going from persuasion to, well, evil. But, listen, if someone is preventing you from acquiring something you want or need, you must find another means to get it. Then you must learn how to properly influence others. When you are manipulating someone, it is natural to feel uncomfortable. But there are instances when you just don't have a choice. If you feel like you're being walked all over and taken advantage of by someone, knowing how to control others can help. So, here are some ideas for you. 1. Work with their emotions. People's emotions are the most easily manipulated. You've seen it on TV and in movies, and it works perfectly. You want to influence people to feel a certain way, a manner that favors you. We understand if you're uncomfortable at this since it's emotional manipulation. 2. Own your emotions. Before you can manipulate anyone, you're going to have to master your own emotions. If you're not in control of yourself, you're making yourself a target of your own game. You have to laugh when necessary, shed a tear when needed. In other words, you need to put on an act. Depending on the emotion you want them to feel, you're going to need to be able to use your emotions on demand. 3. Make sure they trust you. People who have been influenced in the past are typically quite responsive to the indications. So if you suspect that trust is an issue, you'll have to make them trust you. The greatest method to accomplish this is to open up to them and discuss something personal with them. They will see that you trust them when you open out to them. If you're not adept at acting, stick to a semi-true narrative. 4. Be likable. Listen, if they don't like you, none of this will work. It makes no difference whether you are a decent person or not. Your aim is to win them over. So, if you're a negative person, set those genuine sentiments aside and put on a happy front. You shouldn't kiss their asses because they'll notice. But if you appear nice, you'll get away with it. For this to work, you must be likable. 5. Develop the ability to read body language. You must be able to read people's body language if you want to know how to control them effectively. The majority of self-expression occurs through nonverbal communication. People may say yes or no, but it is your responsibility to interpret what they mean. Everything comes down to the body. Are they averting their eyes or fidgeting? This might indicate that they are lying or are uncomfortable. If they make eye contact with you and appear calm, they're listening and presumably believe what you're saying. 6. Try the old guilt trip approach. This is one of the oldest yet easiest ways to manipulate someone. The good old guilt trip approach. Your mom probably did that to you 1,000 times when she wanted you to do something. When you make someone feel guilty about something, they'll try to make up for it. That's when you suggest to them the way that they can compensate. This works best with people who are prone to feeling guilty. 7. Play the victim. We personally hate persons who play the victim, but it does work occasionally. You can't utilize this card all the time if you're going to play it. After a while, people become bored of being the victim. However, if you're going to utilize the victim card, pair it with the guilt trip strategy for the best effects. 8. Take full advantage of what you've got. If you have a beautiful face or a great figure, make the most of it. We realize it's unpleasant to hear, but it's the simplest approach to persuade someone to do anything. Because people are shallow, you might as well ride that train if it gives you what you want. Furthermore, your appearance will fade with time, and you will no longer be able to employ this approach. Take advantage of it. 9. Bring out the bribe. You're probably asking if people still employ bribes, and the answer is yes. Bribe someone to get them to do what you desire. Bribery can take the form of material, emotional, or mental benefits. They will be convinced to do what you want since it will benefit them. But first, make sure you figure out what that person needs. Remember, you're bribing them gently, not blackmailing them. That's something altogether different and should never be tried. 10. Be flirty. Sex sells people. So, what you should do is bring out your charm and flirtatious side. Blending both charm and flirtation makes the person feel good. This usually works on people who are lonely and have low self-esteem. It sounds horrible, because it is, but we have the feeling that you're not too concerned at this point. For sure, manipulation isn't the most honest or best way to get what you want. Sometimes there is no option, and most of the time, it's simply because it's easy and nobody is going to get hurt. However, know that you run the risk of being labeled a manipulator if you do it one too many times.